Okay, this is lesson 1.4, solving linear inequalities. So when we solve an inequality, so an inequality has a greater than or less than sign, not an equal sign. When we solve an inequality, we solve it exactly like we do an equation, with one exception. If you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality sign. So if the inequality sign looked like that, after you flip it, it would look like that. So you just flip the inequality sign over. So let's look at this example. Negative 2x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 13. We are going to subtract 3 from both sides. So now we have negative 2x is greater than or equal to 10. So now we're going to divide by a negative 2 and divide by a negative 2. We divided by a negative sign, so we have to flip the inequality the other direction. So it becomes less than or equal to, and 10 divided by negative 2 is a negative 5. To graph this, if it's less than or greater than, you have an open dot. It means it goes right up to the number, but it does not include the number. If it's less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, it has a closed dot. So if we wanted to graph this inequality, we would have a number line. I'm going to go ahead and erase that arrow so it's not in the way. And I'm going to put negative 5 in the center. So that's negative 4, negative 3, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. So it is less than or equal to. So that's a closed dot at 5. Change colors so we can see a little bit better. And it is less than. So all of the numbers less than 5 are this direction. And that's how you would graph that. Okay, so then let's talk about the compound and the compound or. So what we mean and means that you can have this and that. So if somebody told you you can have a new Xbox and a new game, they graph together. This one and that one together. You look at a compound or, they can't happen at the same time. You can have a new Xbox or you can have a new game. So they don't happen at the same time. So when you solve an and problem, when we draw our lines down, you're actually drawing two lines. And what I tell people is cover this side up. I'm going to cover this side up for just a second. So if I were going to solve this with that other side covered up, I would subtract 2 from both sides. So what you do is you now have to subtract 2 from all 3 sides. So you get negative 25 is less than 5x, which is less than 15. Okay, so the same thing, you would cover up the 25 and if you did that, you divide both sides. See if I can erase that a little bit so we can divide. Divide both sides by 5, except now you have to divide all 3 by 5. So x is less than 3, but is greater than negative 5. So to graph that, We have negative 6. Whoops. Oh goodness. Deleted all of it. Let me just use my eraser because that 6 got out of control. Or we leave it. So negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it is greater than negative 5. And it's an open dot because it's not equal to. So open dot on negative 5, and it is greater than. So here are all the numbers greater than. It is less than 3. So another open dot because it's not equal to, and it's less than 3. And that's where they meet in the middle. An OR problem is actually two separate problems. So we're going to work this problem first, then we'll work this problem second, and then we can put the OR sign in the middle. So on this one, add 2 to both sides. 7x is greater than 0. Divide by 7, x is greater than 0. Then solve this side. Add 3. 4x is less than or equal to negative 22. Divide by 4. X is less than or equal to, let me grab my calculator. So 5.5, I think that's right. 4 times 5 is 22 over 4. We'll go with it. You guys can check that later. Okay, so we have, and then the OR is in the middle. We just bring our OR down. So we have 0, so let's go negative 1, 0, 1, 2, oh, going the wrong direction, because that's a negative 5.5. So let's do negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1. We have x is greater than 0. So here's 0. Here is x is greater than 0. We have negative 5.5, and x is less than or equal to. So we're going to put a closed dot there, and x is less than or equal to. So those go opposite directions. Ands always graph towards each other. Okay, so notes were kind of short today, but you do have plenty of time to practice, so make sure that you do the odds. Check your answers on the website, and you need to also continue to work on your Choose Your Own Adventure.